Hey everyone, welcome to the video. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Solomon Thomas and I've been running marathons for going on 4 years now, and as you can see from the title of the video, I am setting the goal of running a sub 250 marathon at the Buffalo, New York Marathon, May 25th of 2025. So like I mentioned, I've been running for about 4 years now, running marathons that is. I started when I was in the Marine Corps in the year 2020 or 2021, running my first marathon unofficially, just doing the distance in Okinawa, Japan, and made it about 21 miles, and the wheels absolutely fell off. At one point, I was crawling up and down hills trying to just keep going. Finished that marathon in 4.5 hours, and I've been able to get that time down to just under 3 hours at 2:59, and I did that at Emerald Isle in North Carolina in October of 2023. So haven't ran a marathon since. I've recently, a few months ago, did a quote-unquote marathon prep, and I filmed some of that, so you can see some of those videos on my channel. And that was just an attempt to pretend as if I was going to run a sub 250 marathon. And it culminated in a 22-mile workout that's supposed to simulate a prep. So absolutely love running marathons. I love running. I love the distance specifically. I've run 5Ks and half marathons, and in the future I plan on dabbling with ultra marathon, longer distances. But right now there's something about getting to that 20-plus mile marker and trying to see what you're really made of. And so absolutely excited for this prep. So as I mentioned, it's going to be May 25th, so that puts us at about 19 weeks out. I'm currently recording this audio on January 12th, so some of the next few videos are going to be from week 0 is what I'm calling it. The past few weeks, I've really just been maintaining my strength and endurance fitness. I would say running about 45, 50 miles a week, doing a lot of calisthenic work, but with the new year, I've just decided to set this goal and see what we're going to do. And, the thing about a goal is that it really orients your perceptions and your actions. It really gives you the framework to organize your habits on a daily and weekly basis when you say, okay, 6 months from now, I have this big competition or performance that I'm going to try to put out maximal effort and I want to prepare for that. Well, that, for me at least, it helps me back plan and say, well, what do I need to do every single month and every single week and every single day to make sure that I'm the best prepared that I can be when it comes to race day. And so I'm not someone who can push myself just for the sake of pushing myself, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So decided to set my sights on this goal and go for this 250 marathon. So super excited for it. So let's talk about the structure of the prep. The point of me recording these videos, or at least one of the points of documenting this prep, is going to be to share with you guys just some of the lessons that I've learned over the past few years, and also some of the mistakes that I'm going to inevitably make as I'm trying to prep for this race. So I'm hoping that it could add some value to anyone who's trying to get into the marathon space, or anyone who's just trying to develop their mental and physical fitness, as I think that running and strength training are just as much mental as they are physical. For those of you who don't know, I'm also a graduate student in a master's program trying to get my general psychology degree, and I have the goal of becoming a clinical psychologist. So one day soon, hopefully getting into a doctoral program. So I might throw in some psychological and philosophical tidbits here or there, but the focus of these next few months, really, in the videos that will come out on this channel, at least that's the plan for now, will be primarily focused on marathon prep and fitness. What was I saying? Yes, marathon prep. Super excited for it. The structure of the prep, like I said, 19 weeks. It's going to be about 4 weeks of building, which really just entails anywhere from 60 to 65 and eventually capping at 70 miles ran per week. 1 day a week will be a speed workout, and it'll be anywhere from 5 to 6 miles with having to do with like threshold or tempo workouts, and then the rest of those miles are going to be super easy, super slow, especially as I'm trying to build myself back up to where I was a few months ago. So 80% of my miles are going to be easy. About 20%, or that ratio might shift, but about 20% of those miles will be speed work. So 4 weeks of building, and then a fifth week or so will be a workout. And so it'll be a 22-mile workout that's supposed to really mimic marathon conditions and really at least, push my body and put the strain on my body as if I was running the distance. And a lot of these workouts I got from watching Nick Bare. So I highly recommend that anyone check out his channel. I'm a huge fan of his and really modeling this prep after what he's been doing. So shout out Nick Bare. But that fifth week is going to be a workout to really test my fitness and see where I'm at. Most of my long runs that I'll do weekly for those building weeks will be 20, maybe 21 miles. And they'll be very easy, especially like I mentioned, as I'm starting out. I have no problem like walking some if I need to. The goal is really to just get that aerobic fitness in, not really focused on the time when it comes to those easier runs. And ideally, those aerobic runs will even start to get faster, but that's not really the focus initially. So that fifth week will be a 22-mile workout where I'll see where I'm at, and that will really give me the feedback and information necessary to see where I need to make changes. Maybe my heart rate is fine, and so, but maybe my breathing gave out, or maybe my nutrition plan was messed up, or maybe I didn't stretch out properly, and so I get this same nagging feeling in my hamstring, in my right hamstring, and so that gives me information to take back to the build to reassess and hopefully optimize the prep. And then that sixth week will be a deload week where I'll most likely cut those miles in half, my weekly volume, break it down to 35 and 40 miles that week, still maintaining strength training, and then that'll be a block. And so if my math is correct, that gives me about 3 blocks going into a taper in the 19th week to hopefully be ready to crush that sub 250 goal. I'll also be doing some strength training throughout this prep, and so that's what I've been doing for the past few years. Haven't changed too much. We'll see what happens, but really it's just strength training 4 times a week, 2 upper body days and 2 lower body days, and most of the video content will probably be the strength training sessions just because it's easier to record. Another thing that's interesting for this prep is that most of it will be on the treadmill. So I'm currently in New York. I've been here for about 6 or so months now, and it's really cold, I'm not gonna lie. And also watching Nick Bare, I just saw recently, a month or so ago, he got hit by a car. So now I kind of have that fear in my mind, I'm not gonna lie, kind of susceptible to the availability heuristic, but that's okay. So this prep will be on the treadmill, so there will definitely be some footage of that, but every now and then, as I'm feeling froggy, I'll definitely get back out on the road, as most of my runs prior to the past month or so have been on the road, dodging traffic and other people. Super excited for this prep. I think the last thing that I want to say, I just want to reflect on week 0 is what this video and the next video are covering. This past week, I was able to run 55 miles, was able to do a final run on Saturday, which was a long run, which was 20 miles, and felt pretty easy. I'm still getting used to the treadmill, I'll say. In some aspects, it's boring because it's a treadmill, and you don't get to see all the nice sights, and you don't really have to be so alert, which can be good and bad at the same time. You can kind of just fall into a rhythm of the monotony. And there's a TV downstairs in the fitness. I'm sure you guys can see in the video somewhere eventually. So that's super helpful. But there are definitely trade-offs. So getting used to running on the treadmill. But yeah, was able to do the 20 miler. I was a little scared during a few runs last week. During one of my sprinting sessions, my hamstring started to catch, and so I actually had to stop that, and then felt some shin splits on a Thursday run, but took it easy on Friday, and so did 2 or 3 miles easy, and then was able to go in on Saturday and knock out the 20 miler. So we're gonna see. Over the next few weeks, I just plan to ramp up the mileage, 5 or so miles every single week, building up to, like I mentioned, 70 miles maximum. And then at that point, I won't do the volume will not exceed 70 miles, and I'll just maintain that volume while trying to increase the intensity on the speed days. And that's really the plan. Like I mentioned, I'll assess as I do those key workouts every 5 or 6 weeks or so, and continue to do what I need to do to improve. So that's the video. I hope you guys like and subscribe, and give me some feedback as well. If there are some pro marathon runners out there, or even if you're not a pro, if there's some life lessons that you've learned, I'm more than happy to listen to them, and I'd love to hear what you think might be beneficial for me as I try to accomplish this goal. So thanks everyone for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.